So today I want to go over how you'll be able to make a ridiculous amount of gold from the new time rifts activity that was added in patch 10.1.5. And if you haven't seen anything about time rifts, it's a new open world activity in Thaldraszus that happens every hour at the top of the hour. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, at the start of every hour, this event starts. It takes around 10 minutes to complete, and there are a bunch of new vendors that you can buy gear, cosmetics, and what we're focused on are pets. So there are 7 new earnable pets that are all cageable, so they're all able to be sold that you can buy from the vendors with the new currency from the new time rift events, or you have multiple opportunities to also obtain one of these pets from doing the time rifts themselves. And there are a bunch of ways we're going to go about optimizing this to get even more chances at these pets. But these new pets themselves are Narubi, Killbot 9000, Gildan, Doom Rubble, Jeepers, Obsidian Warwhelp, and Briar Horn Hatchling. So 7 new pets, all look really cool, and any collectors or pet battlers are definitely going to want to get their hands on these. And one of the best parts about doing a pet farm is that you're very easily able to learn them, keep them in your collections, make a new character, cage them up on the new character, and easily sell them on any server you want. And there's a bunch of servers that don't have a lot of these pets currently on the auction house, so there's some pretty big opportunity right now to go farm these pets, put them on all the auction houses that don't currently have them up, and make some ridiculous gold very early on. And currently on the US realms, all of these pets are going for hundreds of thousands of gold on average. Most of them are up over 200,000 gold. A handful of them are slightly below that, but all of them are still selling for ridiculous amounts of gold, and they do seem to be pretty rare. I think it's mainly because a lot of people aren't farming these time rifts for pets, and because the time rifts catch-up gear isn't that great, a lot of people just aren't even doing this event, but that means much more gold if you actually focus on these. Now there are a bunch of different parts to optimize your chances at getting these pets, and starting off is buying them from the vendors with the new currency from the time rifts event called Paracausal Flakes. And you obtain this new currency for partaking in the event, for doing the weekly quest that you can do on one character a week, and there's also a daily quest that can give you some of this currency that can be done on every single one of your characters every single day. So starting off, you have a weekly quest that can be done on one character per week. This is going to give you 1,000 Paracausal Flakes and some additional items that we'll go over later in this video that can be done on one character once per week. And all you're going to need to do for that is complete one of these events. And then you have the daily quests, which are located in Eons Fringe. You'll be able to just go there and start these dailies. They'll give you 70 Paracausal Flakes on every character you do it every single day. And then some other items we'll also go over later in the video. And those are very quick dailies, so you can park every single character next to these dailies, do them very quickly every day, and just build up a ton of this currency on all of your characters. But the main way to get this new currency is from doing the event itself. Now the time rift event itself is split into 2 different parts. The first part being an open world objective that any players in the area are going to randomly be getting objectives to go do different things or kill enemies, and you're going to be filling up a bar with everyone in the area up to 7,500. So doing anything just helps fill up this bar. There are 3 different sections of the bar that'll give you an uncommon chest, a rare chest, and an epic chest. So if you don't get enough points, you won't get all the chests. These chests give 50, 75, and then 100 Paracausal Flakes, but the last chest can also give you any of the items from any of the vendors. So they can give you any of the cosmetics or any of the pieces of gear, meaning you can also randomly get these pets from getting the epic chest from part 1 of this event. You'll also be getting a ton of Paracausal Flakes for completing any of the objectives and killing any of the enemies when you have the objective to kill enemies. And I would also recommend looking in the group finder in the custom section. Look for a raid. There's always raids grouping up. You'll usually be able to get into a 40-man raid, which will make it much easier to get all 3 of the chests in this first part. Now, after that first part is completed, in the middle of this area, a portal will spawn. Go in that portal, and it'll take you into a boss arena where everybody that goes in fights a boss. Once you kill that boss, you guaranteed get a bunch of Paracausal Flakes, but then you have a random chance to obtain any items from any of the vendors from the boss as well. So the same way the epic box works from the first part, the boss works in the second part. So just a random chance to get any of the items, so you can also get pets from completing the boss. And also keep an eye out, because in a lot of these boss arenas, after you complete it, a random quest will pop up that you can pick up that you can also turn in for some additional paracausal flakes after you leave the boss fight. And that's the entirety of the event. And again, this is going to spawn at the top of every hour. So if you want to farm these as much as possible, you're going to want to be doing this event every hour. It takes around 10 minutes, so it's not that much time invested. And to optimize this even further, there are some items to guarantee you loot from the Time Rift events to try to get even more pets. And the first part of this is the weekly quest we went over. Again, you can do this on one character per week. Once this quest is completed, you'll get a loot box that gives you the currency we went over, but it can also give you encapsulated destiny, which when you use it gives you a buff that doesn't have a duration, and it guarantees you a reward the next time you complete a rift. Now, what's pretty cool about this encapsulated destiny is this does not overwrite the potential loot from the event in the first place. So as we went over from the epic chest in part 1 and from killing the boss in part 2, both of those can give you a chance to give you any loot from the vendors. But when you have encapsulated destiny active and kill the boss at the end, it gives you a second piece of possible loot. So if you go kill the boss and you randomly get the piece of loot just from killing the boss, and you have an encapsulated destiny active, you will get 2 pieces of loot. So that's 2 chances at getting a battle pet. Now, from this weekly loot chest you get from the weekly quest, you also have a very rare chance to get a greater encapsulated destiny, which guarantees you a mount or a battle pet from one of those vendors. So a much higher chance to get a battle pet from your next completion of the Time Rift. But you can also get these encapsulated destiny from the daily quests in Eon Fringe that we went over, that you can do on every single character daily. Now, it's seeming like how these currently work from these Eon Fringe dailies is that the first time you do these dailies on every single one of your characters, you're guaranteed an encapsulated destiny on every single one of these characters. Once you do that first daily quest and come back the next day to do the next daily, you don't get an encapsulated destiny. But how I'm assuming this is going to work is that every week you'll be able to get another encapsulated destiny from these daily quests. We'll have to wait and see until next week to see how this exactly works, but presumably this is going to reset weekly, so you can get at least one encapsulated destiny on every single character from the first daily quest of that week. And that seems to be the main ways you can optimize trying to obtain these pets. And if you want to do this in the most optimal, time efficient way possible, I think the best way to go about farming this is to do your weekly quest, which is going to give you one of these encapsulated destiny, then go do another time rift on that same character to use up that encapsulated destiny. Then on all of your alt characters, go and do the daily quest once, which means on every single one of your character you do this on, you're going to get one encapsulated destiny on all of them, then go do a time rift on every single one of those alts. So do it on one alt, get your guaranteed loot at the end, go do it on another alt the next hour, and go through all of your different characters you're going to try to do this on, and that's going to be the most optimal way in terms of time efficiency. But then after that, if you still want to farm up more currency, I'd recommend just choosing one of your characters and doing all additional time rifts on that one character to continue to build up your currency so you can buy the pets from the vendors themselves. And then if you want to even do more on top of this, go park all of your alts at the daily quest area, and on every single one of your alts, do those dailies every day, because those will give more of the currency on a daily basis. And you just keep doing that daily, and then at some point, all of your characters will be able to go buy themselves another battle pet, which will just build up to ridiculous amounts of gold. But that's pretty much all I want to go over. So thanks for watching.